Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to explain vector databases. This is more critical than you think because most engineers try to build search features using traditional keyword matching. And that approach completely fails when you need to understand the intent behind a user's question. I have seen this take down the search performance of entire e-commerce platforms. Let's fix that. So today we are diving into the core component of the modern AI stack. We will cover the architecture, the math, and the production implementation. We have a packed agenda. We will start by identifying why relational databases struggle with semantic search. Then we will move into how embeddings work, explore the internal architecture of vector stores, set up a real database, and finally discuss common pitfalls. So do not skip ahead. Watch all the way through to actually understand this properly. Quick note before we dive in, this channel shares practical IT tutorials daily. So if that's useful to you, hit subscribe and join our WhatsApp community linked in the description for more resources. So why does traditional search fail? Think about a user searching for fast-running shoes on your store. A standard database looks for the words fast, running, and shoes in your product descriptions. If you have a great pair of athletic sneakers listed as quick trainers, the database ignores them entirely. It lacks the context of human language. It is a literal matching machine, not a semantic understanding machine. And that is exactly why search performance on many platforms is stagnant. So, what is a vector database really? It is a system built to store and search through data represented as arrays of numbers known as vectors. Think of it like a library. In a normal library, you organize books by genre or author. In a vector library, you organize books by the actual ideas inside them. If two books have similar themes, they are placed right next to each other on the shelf, even if one is a biography and the other is a textbook. This closeness is what allows us to perform semantic search. Before we get into the code, you need to be prepared. First, you need a machine running a recent version of Ubuntu or macOS. You must have Python 3.1 or newer installed. Run the command on screen to verify. You also need Docker because we will run our database inside a container. Finally, make sure you have your terminal open and ready. If you are missing any of these, pause the video and set them up now. Take a moment to review each point shown on screen. So, how does this work internally? First, raw data like text or images is sent to an embedding model. This model converts the data into a vector, a long list of floating point numbers. These vectors are then sent to the vector database. When a user sends a query, we convert that query into a vector using the same model, and the database calculates the distance between the query vector and our data vectors. The ones with the shortest distance are the closest match. It is a mathematical approach to finding meaning. To start, we pull and run the Qdrant database using Docker. We map the standard ports so our application can communicate with it. We also mount a local directory for persistence so our data survives a container restart. The command is on screen now. Run it and you will see the database spin up and initialize its storage engine. If everything worked, you should see the confirmation lines on screen. This confirms the HTTP and gRPC ports are ready to accept connections. If you do not see this, check your Docker logs with the Docker logs command to see if the port is already in use by another service. Now let us look at the code. Here, we initialize the client and create a collection. A collection is where we store our vectors. Notice the size parameter. This must match the output dimension of your embedding model. We use cosine distance, which is the standard for comparing semantic similarity. This is the foundation of your search engine. The code returns true, confirming the collection is ready. Now you are ready to start asserting your product data. This is exactly how you would set up a new index for a fresh project. In a production environment, you don't just query the database. You wrap it in a function that handles the embedding process first. Line 2 converts the human text into a vector using your model. Line 3 queries the database for the 5 closest results. This pattern ensures your search remains fast and accurate under load. This is what you would see in a high-traffic microservice. The output returns a list of results with scores. The higher the score, the closer the match. A score of 0.98 is an extremely strong match. This is how you provide relevant results to your users. So what is the most common mistake? It is the dimension mismatch error. This happens when your embedding model outputs a vector of a different size than what you define in your collection. You cannot change the collection size after creation. You have to delete it and start over. Always ensure your model and collection configuration are perfectly in sync. The fix is simple but destructive. You must delete the collection and recreate it with the correct dimension. This is why you should always version your embedding models in your configuration files. Avoid hard-coding these values at all costs. Let me give you a real-world example. An e-commerce platform with 5 million products struggled with search. Users could not find items when using descriptive queries. By switching to a vector database, they improved click-through rates by 20%. They also reduced search latency by 40%. This happened because the vector index handled semantic clusters far more efficiently than the previous SQL-based fuzzy search. It transformed the search experience from a bottleneck into a competitive advantage. So when should you use this? Use a vector database when you need semantic search or recommendation systems based on content similarity. It is also the gold standard for RAG pipelines. However, do not use it for simple ID-based lookups where a standard SQL database is much faster. Also, if your dataset is tiny, do not add the complexity of a vector store. Keep it simple. Use these criteria to decide if this tool is right for your situation. Here are the key takeaways. First, remember that vector databases store semantic meaning through high-dimensional embeddings. Second, cosine distance is your best friend for similarity calculations. Third, keep your dimensions in sync to avoid the dreaded mismatch error. Fourth, use vector stores as a supplement, not a replacement for your relational database. Finally, remember that your search quality is limited by the quality of your embedding model. If you found this video helpful and you think it can help others in the community too, please do like and hype the video. It helps more people find this content. Hit subscribe to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description where we share more practical IT resources daily. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If you found this video helpful and you think it can help others in the community too, please do like and hype the video. It helps more people find this content. Hit subscribe to stay updated for our regular videos. Join our WhatsApp community using the link in the description where we share more practical IT resources daily. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.